So thinking that post was going to rattle cages, the only cage it rattled was mine. Somebody had written, "That's why Jesus never laughed." And I thought to myself, and I was like, wow, yeah. I have never heard of a recollection or a passage in the Bible where Jesus laughs. He loves us so much. But then again, you don't really laugh when you're happy, do you? You don't be, ha ha ha, it looks weird. You either cry, happy tears, or you like grin, or you're just like content. Laughter is a little wicked. Laughter is produced by a fool, a jester, a person who had to please the king and entertain him and make him laugh no matter what. And if he didn't, off with your head, jester. That's why jesters usually were the smartest people in the kingdom. That's why it's often depicted that the jester is whispering into the king's ear, because the king is just a figurehead. The jester is the one that runs the show. Because if you kill the jester, you kill the idea of laughter. Now, you have to be smart, kind of wicked to laugh. Think about what we laugh at. We laugh at pranks. We laugh at jokes. Sometimes they're cruel jokes, but we still laugh. Laughter could be attributed as to a sign of sin. In fact, God, in the regular Bible, not the one I'm about to talk about, but there's another verse apparently, but let's just hang on. God scoffed at sinners. He laughed at sinners. So this God that loves us so very much, that doesn't want us to go to hell, laughs at us when we do, if we don't follow him. So if we don't follow him, he sends us to hell and laughs at us. Does that not sound like somebody else? Oh my God. In 1945, they found a thing of papyrus in the Egyptian catacombs, of course. I mean, where else would they find it? Like the Sphinx. And it depicted a gospel. It's called the Judas Gospel. Although it wasn't written by Judas, it was written by people that followed him. And they depicted Jesus' life from birth to death, and then his resurrection. And in fact, in this gospel, Jesus does laugh once, nice and hard. He comes back from the dead, and he's walking around, and he sees his disciples sitting down having dinner. But they're praying to God. They're doing grace. And he laughs at them. He laughs. And one of the disciples goes, "Why are you laughing at us? What the fuck's wrong with you?" And he's like, "I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your action to try to please your Lord or your God." Excuse me? ¿Qué dijo? Что? Блядь, aren't you his son? What happened? You get into a fight with dad, or when you died, you came back? Listen, I'm not saying that it might be a little far-fetched, but consider this. If the Gospel of Judas is far-fetched, then maybe so is the real one, huh? Or no, we're just going to keep believing that? Because I've never heard of this before, and I'm 37 years old. I took religion in Catholic school when I was 16. Never heard of the Gospel of Judas, ever. And they found it in 1945, so it's been here. We know about it. And I found the info on Google now. Thank God somebody told me about it. So, by the way, thank you again. But isn't that clever? They also said that Jesus had a wife. And you know who it is? Who it was? Of course it was Mary Magdalene. Duh. He fucking came. In the regular Bible, she's the one he came to see after he died. She carried his children, and Da Vinci actually took the time to tell you about this by painting her into the Last Supper and leaving out the chalice of Christ, which everyone thinks is the Holy Grail. The key to immortality is not a fucking cup. It's passing on your legacy through children. Dicks. Obviously, it makes sense, but this whole time, we're looking for some cup. There's no cup at the Last Supper painting. Go look at it. But Mary Magdalene's right there. Everyone says John the Baptist. First of all, men weren't painted with their faces down and smiling, like in the Renaissance art when Da Vinci was painting. Women were painted that way. With the way their hands are positioned, women were painted that way, not men. There's a thing, there's a rules artists followed back then, just like there's rules artists follow now. Just like the Vatican decides to fucking make their nativity scene with an astronaut in it, and we're supposed to be like, okay, cool. Sooner or later, they're going to tell you the truth. It's already there. And you're just going to be like, are you going to be so okay with accepting everything? You're like, Jesus is Lucifer. Wait, what? Okay, I guess. Wait, huh? Wait, Jesus, what? Did he just, let's go. Okay. Listen, I'm not saying what I came up with yesterday is true or right, but there's a lot of people that are agreeing with this notion, or I guess technically I'm agreeing with them. because I wasn't the first one to come up with this, obviously. So I think we could put flat earth, round earth, under earth, hollow earth, liquid earth aside. And let's worry about the fact that Jesus, which is 75% of the people that are religious praying for, is actually the wrong dude to be praying for. Ain't that some shit? Wouldn't that be a doozy if after all this work, all these light bringers and star seeds are helping everybody, you know, ushering them along into the fucking ranks of heaven, when it's just a meat grinder designed as a church, which, by the way, a church is designed just like a courtroom. I don't know if you ever heard Alan Watts talk about it, but it's true. The altar faces east. The judge, much like the priest, stands at the altar and fucks the defendant. The judge fucks the defendant. And the defendant actually happens to stay in the same place as the altar boys do. But let's not talk about what priests do to altar boys, because it's definitely not that. Anyway, just food for thought, but it's hard to dispute this. You're going to tell me it's fake? Go ahead. Sure. I believe you. You got no legs to stand on now, Jesus people. I mean, this is fucking, you know? And the crazy shit is like, most of you probably heard this for the first time, and I am appalled that no one has ever brought this up. Like, in the entire search of information that I've had in my entire life, no one brought up the fucking fact that Judas wrote a gospel and he said Jesus is not really good. I mean, if that's not huge, then I don't know. I don't mean to like flip everyone's day upside down if you're going to church, but shit. Can you imagine? Oh, finally dying on your deathbed, everyone say goodbye. Oh, thank God, I'm going up to God. God, hey. And he's like, hey, St. Peter, it's you. St. Peter, like, you look a little weird. My, St. Peter, what big teeth you have. Yeah, boop, trapdoor, you're in hell. Yeah, I don't know about that. I would trust in yourself before you trust in anyone else, like Jesus or money, or in God we trust. That's written on the money. But just saying, you know, just gonna leave that over right here for you guys. Enjoy.